This is a short mindfulness meditation practice. So finding somewhere where you won't be disturbed for the next 10 minutes or so, and finding somewhere where you can sit and practice. If you're choosing to sit in the chair, then sitting with your legs uncrossed and feet flat on the ground, with your back away from the back of the chair, held under its own weight, or if that's uncomfortable, with your back pressed against the back of the chair, with your hands resting in your lap, and with your head resting on your shoulders, looking forward. And if it's comfortable to do so, closing your eyes now. But if you prefer, having your eyes open with a soft gaze focused on the floor a few feet in front of you. And remembering that all the guidance in this practice is merely an invitation. So if at any point you wish to stop this practice, then that's absolutely fine to do so. But if you wish to continue, then beginning now by taking attention to the areas of contact with the ground and with the chair. So perhaps noticing the experience of contact between the soles of the feet and the ground. Maybe noticing a sense of pressure or a sense of touch. And as best you can, noticing also the contact with the chair, maybe the back or the legs. And knowing that one choice that is always open to you throughout this practice is to return attention to these experiences of contact. So if at any time your experience feels too much or too overwhelming, then you can always return attention to the feeling of contact with the ground and with the chair. But now, if you're willing, widening the focus of your attention to take in other bodily sensations. So noticing perhaps any sensations that are occurring right now in your legs. And sensations in the pelvic area. The lower back and the belly. And your shoulders. And your arms and hands. And sensations in the neck and in the head. So sitting here now as best you can, bringing attention to sensations occurring throughout your body. And now, if you're willing, narrowing the spotlight of attention to the experience of the chest and perhaps also the belly moving as the breath passes in and out of your body. Noticing perhaps how the chest rises and maybe the belly also as you breathe in, and how it falls away as you breathe out. Sometimes it can be a challenge to locate the experience of breathing, and if that's the case right now, knowing that that's okay, and perhaps choosing to place your hand for a few breaths on either your chest or belly, just watching any movements that occur as the breath passes in and out of the body. And then when you feel happy that you've located the experience of breathing, placing your hand back in the lap and continuing to watch the movement as the breath passes in and out breath by breath. Knowing that there's no need to control the breath here, so it's fine to just let the breath come and go as it pleases, whether that be quickly or slowly or at an irregular pace. But sometimes also it can be difficult not to control the breath. And if you find that that's the case right now, then as best you can, just acknowledging that with gentleness and patience, and then returning attention to watching the breath. So as best you can, watching the breath, moment by moment, breath by breath. And sometimes you may find that the mind wanders away from the breath, perhaps to a thought or a feeling, to a noise or to something else. And if that happens, reminding yourself that this is perfectly normal and understandable. It's what all our minds do. They wander away. It's not a failure. And when you notice that the mind has wandered, as best you can, greeting that with gentleness and patience, acknowledging where the mind has wandered to, and then bringing attention back to the experience of breathing, and in particular the rise and fall of the chest, and perhaps also the belly area. So watching the breath, moment by moment, as best you can. Knowing that there's no right or wrong here, it's just another thing that we can notice as we practice. And knowing also that we're not aiming to achieve any particular state with this practice. So if you're feeling relaxed or concentrated, that's fine. But if your mind happens to be scattered or you're feeling some other emotion, that's fine too from the point of view of the practice. The invitation is to simply notice whatever we're experiencing moment by moment. And if you find in practice, as you're watching the breath, there's some other experience that won't leave your mind, then that's fine too. Perhaps just breathing alongside it. So having an awareness of this experience as well as an awareness of your breathing, moment by moment, breath by breath. And in a few moments' time, I'll invite you to bring this short period of meditation practice to a close. So now, beginning the transition between this period of practice and whatever it is you plan to do next. So in your own time, widening the focus of attention from the breath to take in the whole of your body, the whole of the room that you're sitting in. Opening your eyes if they're closed, and maybe starting to move and noticing how that feels to move. And now moving on to whatever it is that you plan to do next. The end.